In the run-up to the election, we know that tensions are running high. There's worries about political intimidation, political violence, and we're seeing an indication of that. That seems very, very legit. Fox News had this: New Hampshire homeowners received threatening letters over Trump 2020 lawn signs. Now, if you just see that headline, which is the way everyone consumes news, that's really bad. I don't want people to be targeted because of their political signs, even if they make the bad decision of supporting Donald Trump. You can display whatever sign you want. And so let's get into the details. At least 2 residents who displayed pro-Trump flags and signs on their front lawns in small town New Hampshire reportedly received letters threatening to burn down their homes if the presidential election did not result in a victory for Democratic candidate Joe Biden. Captain Craig Fry of the Milford Police told Fox News the department referred the case to the US Postal Inspection Service and the state attorney general's office, which is conducting an investigation. So those are the official details as they are made available in that Fox story. Spoiler alert, there's a little bit more to this that I'm gonna try to reveal, but based off of that, JR, what do you think? People threatening each other because of their signs and their flags. That's un-American.
Yeah, it's both. Yeah, it's both the most surprising and unsurprising development we'll see from this, because we're already talking about how our militiamen are supposed to show up at polling places to intimidate folks from not voting or voting the wrong way, whatever it is they want to tell people, or act like that they're the ones that show up to uphold voter consistency. So this is absolutely not surprising that now once you see yard signs or see what people may go for, start threatening them, because once the fear has really started to dig into their souls to see what could potentially happen this election cycle, and then the results of that happening once this guy could be out of office, you go for desperate moves. Desperate times call for what? Desperate measures. And it's just another example of how of the mindset. It's we'll try anything we can. We're now attempting the cheating and the stealing part, and just in case that doesn't work, let's go ahead and go with the direct intimidation and threats on people's lives if they vote the quote unquote wrong way, because we're Americans, and oh boy, we hate those third world countries that we're trying to fix and bring more to a democratic approach to what we do. The shining example on the hill. All these things that we like to say, but that many of our citizens and apparently now leaders don't really believe in. So it's tough, and I wish people that are being targeted like this get the opportunity to have a little pushback and hopefully aren't intimidated by it. I assume many of this is just empty threats, but you never know. That's the point of it.
I do think it's empty threats, but I think there's also a little bit more to it. So let's have a little bit of fun, as much fun as you can have with the implied threat of political violence. One of my favorite YouTube channels is called Shut Up and Sit Down. They do board game reviews, very high quality, very well researched, very well considered. What they are known for is what's called the mid-review turnaround, where they'll be talking about all that's good about a game, how it looks, how it plays, and then they'll switch and they'll start talking about the stuff that makes it bad and why they can't recommend it. So we're about to do a TDR mid-story turnaround. So do I think that these things were sent to people with Trump signs? Yes, I do. Do I think that the people, for instance, the people in that Fox News story who are talking about how intimidated they feel, are they right to feel intimidated? They 100% are. Even though they're Trump supporters, they are. But who is intimidating them? I've got a theory. And I don't think it's leftists or Biden supporters, because the actual letters that they got are not in that Fox News story, but there are references to things in the letter. We were actually given a copy of the letter by Marginelli on Twitter. And so I wanna read through what was actually sent to them, and we're gonna see if we can figure out who's likely to have actually sent this. Dear neighbor, you have been, dear neighbor, that's what I send when I'm threatening someone's life. Dear neighbor, you have been identified by our group as being a Trump supporter. Your address has been added into our database as a target for when we attack should Trump not concede the election. We recommend that you check your home insurance policy and make that it is current and that it has adequate coverage for fire damage. You have been given fair warning. Always remember that it was you, in quotation marks, that started this civil war. Be prepared to face the severe consequences of your preemptive actions against democracy. Okay.
Yeah.
No, you first. What do you think?
There's so many I don't know. There's so many angles to this because then also there was emails that went out to like some Florida students, that were on the opposite side of it, saying, if you don't vote towards Trump, there's going to be a problem here. We're the Proud Boys, and the Proud Boys had to disavow it and say it wasn't them, and then apparently it was coming from some server and overseas. So there's so many different
Vice
approaches.
has a story about that.
Yeah, right. So how much that matches up with this, I don't know, and how much this is supposed to be coordinated with making sure that there's a across the board voter threat thing that's going on now. I don't know, but the letter, dear neighbor. I mean, I know whenever I've never had a fight with any neighbors, but I've seen it on TV, and a lot of times when it happens, you usually don't go, "Hey, how you doing there, neighbor?" You know what? F you.
Heidi ho. Heidi ho, coming for you kids.
Heidi ho, so who you voting for? Oh, you better not, or else I'm gonna shoot you. Like, this is weird. I don't know. So, and I don't know, maybe they started off as friends and then it ended badly. So they still have some level of respect for each other. None of it makes any sense. That's the point. So I don't know where to follow this from, honestly.
No, I do. Look, I don't like to speak in absolutes because it annoys me when people do it, and I'm a literal idiot. But I know what this is. Come on. This is a false flag. It's a false paper. I don't know. It was sent by someone who supports Donald Trump to scare people so that the news will cover it, which they did. It's on Fox News to make it seem as if leftists are the violent ones. None of that makes any sense for a leftist to have actually sent. You've been identified as a Trump supporter. Well, I mean, they did have the sign. I guess that makes sense. They're like implying that they have some sort of secret database. They have signs, obviously. The dear neighbor, you've been given fair warning. You started this civil war. Check your insurance for fire damage. What sort of threat is this? None of this makes any sense. This is a right-wing Antifa fever dream. First of all, it's not even, as someone on Twitch pointed out, it's not even on official Antifa letterhead. And no Antifa super soldier would use a font that small. They use 28 or higher, we all know this. No, this is obvious BS to get the right wing to go crazy, to get Ben Shapiro to squeak about it, to get Charlie Kirk to twitch about it. That's all it's designed to do, is for them to freak out and pretend that this is the violence that we should be worried about in our election. This is what we should be worried about before voting day. That is it. I've never been more confident of anything in my life.
So the only thing they missed was the Comic Sans font. That's the only thing they left off.
Which is a very threatening font, by the way. Most people don't accept that, but anyway, yeah, no, it's so fake. Look, are people making threats? Potentially, yes. There are things you should worry about. Like I saw a story, by the way, of someone whose hand was gashed open because apparently people had been ripping political signs out, even ripping Trump signs out. Let's be fair. And so this Trump supporter had rigged razor blades on the bottom of their thing, so that if you ripped it out, you'd cut your hands open, which happened to this person. The person who set that booby trap, which is totally illegal, you can't do that, says, I have no idea how the razor blades got there. I guess it came that way from Party City. Anyway, this is just such a lie.
Well, Trump signs are sold from his website with the razor blades included. Only on some, you just don't know which ones.
Yeah, ugh. By the way, there's a comment. I thought Anna had cleared off the toy shelf. Oh no, they did. I had to set it back up this morning, actually, and I don't even think I did it right. So now it's never gonna be right again. Anyway.
Well, John, what you have to do is put some razor blades on the bottom to make sure that no one moves them next time.
Yeah. If you touch my AOC action figure, the bottom of it is coated with sulfuric acid. I don't know how it got there. My Dobby is rigged to explode. That sounds like something Jeffrey Toobin would say. Check out the Damage Report podcast each day, wherever you get your podcasts, whether Pocket Casts or Stitcher or iTunes. You can join me as I give you the news and stories you want, with a range of co-hosts and interview guests jumping in on the fun each day. Again, that's the Damage Report, wherever you get your podcasts. And if you get them at iTunes, don't forget to rate and review. Sometimes I'll read them live on the show.